What you can do as that's me for the moment, because Jane's going to tell us what you can do as an officer. Jane, over to you.
Thank you, Mike. And for this, I will need to share my screen again.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have lost a tab, just a second. Sorry about that. And here we are at the home page. And so we launch the admin console, and this time we will be looking at, I'll actually make this a bit bigger so we can see better. We will be looking at access settings. And this allows us to choose who is going to be able to access different portions of the admin part of the website. Now, some of these have already been changed from their defaults. From memory, I think the defaults are the treasurer has access to the dues tool. We're not going to talk about that today. That's for helping administer your renewals. The VP Ed to the new agendas, and also to the agenda settings and templates. The rest of it is, by default, will be select people. If your admin is a control freak, they can absolutely turn all that lot off and decide they're going to do it themselves. However, I don't think that is regarded as the way Toastmasters do things. It's a good idea to share the functions around. It has a couple of advantages. One is that you are teaching your officers how to do things so that perhaps down the track they can become an admin. And the other thing is that when you have delegated something, you can actually see when the other person is logged in. Admin, you can't see when they're logged in. They're this ghostly figure that flits about shadowily behind the screen, the scenes. And you might, I will just raise the point at this point, why not just hand out the admin password to everybody? Then you don't have to mess around with this and it all works. Well, there is a rule with shared passwords, at least on FreeToast and probably other places too. The one who saves last wins. So if you've got two people logged in as admin, and remember, you can't see who's logged in as admin, you could have some fun and games. I'm trying to change something on the homepage, and you're trying to change something on the homepage at the same time, and we are tearing our hair as to why it's not working. But if this is enabled, then I can see that the VP PR is editing custom web pages, and that tells me, right, I'll back off that until they've logged out, if there's anything there that I want to change. These are quite easy to change. You just choose somebody. I think in this case, we might allow the president to do that. And save. And that's all done. Naturally, you need to let people know what you're going to do so that they know that they've got these responsibilities. And it's a good idea to, well, I'd say probably essential to have an exec meeting and decide how are we going to run this website? Who's going to do what? You'll notice that there's no rule that says the VP Ed has to be the one who does the agenda, for example. Some clubs don't have a VP Ed because you're required to have a president, a secretary, and a VP of something. And it may or may not be a VP Ed. So you can change these to suit what suits your club.
And Jane, of course, doing that establishment and running that establishment could be a setting up a social media presence pathways project.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing what you can do as a pathways project.
You notice that select officers allowed to access membership management on this club includes the vice president membership. Where I was looking previously on the Eco City Club, that box would not have been checked, and that's why I couldn't see it. So I would expect Jane's settings here to allow the VP membership to be able to get onto membership management. We'll come to that later as part of the site admin role. Jane.
I'll just mention that, whoops, oh, that's because it's saved, that you can change a few things in appearances. And one of the things I've done here is I have made the delegated access menu links in a different color. So I'm not logged in at the moment, but if I log in, let's hope I've remembered that correctly. Then there we are. I'm the VP Ed. You can see that assigned mentors and agenda template settings is showing up there. So I can then go straight to one of those. We're not actually covering this one today. And that's all I get. I don't get all the other stuff. And I think that covers what we were going to touch on in this particular session. So I'll turn it over. I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll turn it over to questions.